What's going on, folks? It's 8:34 West Coast time, 14th of February 2024. Within the past couple of weeks, besides the political scare has been going on. Oh, me? Well, I'm the Weaver Agency of Rosamond, California. Okay, so I'll be sending these over to some people. It was reported a few days ago that Ukraine pulled up wreckage regarding a hyper cruise missile going faster than any other cruise missile, about between 4 and 6 Mach. That's pretty damn fast, I'll tell you that much. Mach 1 is usually the speed of sound, about between 4 and 6. That's even more deadlier. And it was reported that Russia launched the damn thing at Ukraine. Here's another idea, which is being bounced around from a congressman who managed to scare the hell out of the White House, and now it's triggering a lot of things out here. Um, they had talked about this in the Cold War. They talked about this when we actually invented a bomb. But when we actually started launching rockets into space, Russia being first with Sputnik, they're worried about having a nuclear platform in space. Basically, a satellite ready to launch nuclear weapons on top of the Earth. Mostly at the United States, anyway. For us pissing them off, and we pissing them off, so what the hell. And we had to fight, we had to go through legal processes to get treaties not to do this kind of stuff. But treaties get to be broken. And there's talk that Russia is contemplating this. White House and several other key officials are going to be arguing about this one, not to mention going over the intel. If this is actually correct, if this is actually legitimate, then what we had feared back in the 50s and 60s, and continuing after that. Even when we made the Hollywood movie, The Space Cowboys, the old guard of Hollywood in there, all action heroes, Eastwood, Garner, Sutherland. Oh, hold on. Let's see those. James Garner, Eastwood, Donald Sutherland, and Tommy Lee Jones. Okay, I had to get them into my head. In the movie Space Cowboys, a nuclear platform, missiles, were orbiting the Earth, with a potential of launching at Earth. Something happened to the satellite. The Russians gave them some information for a space shuttle to go up there to turn the damn thing off. Instead, it was activated by mistake and then ready to blow the Earth to hell. Tommy Lee Jones, his character dying of cancer, decides to take the one-way trip to the moon and crash the missiles on the moon. And upon the crashing on the moon, the missiles were less likely to blow things up. And Lee Jones' character passed away on the moon, thus saving everybody. What scares the hell out of me at this point is if Russia is going to be doing something similar to that effect, or even having killer satellites. We've been talking about this damn thing since the 80s, earlier than that. Install a little bit of a nuclear payload or explosive compounds in the satellite, have it imbued with computer technology and AI to where it can maneuver to whatever your target satellites are and then blow them to hell. That would include communication satellites, both civilian and military. And what would be scary, they may be doing the higher orbits at this point over here, but the low Earth orbits is what we're more afraid of, about losing the International Space Station and also the Chinese Space Station as well. But putting a hyper cruise missile technology into the hands of China, North Korea, and a few other states out there that we have an issue with, that really changes things. It changes things militarily, politically, and scares the living crap out of me. It's bad enough when we actually lived under the Cold War threat when somebody was going to be flying over a bomb or launching over an ICBM, landing in the middle of towns, and blowing them to hell. They had to be strategic points. The Antelope Valley is a strategic point. Air traffic control center that we have, both military and commercial. We have a testing facility in the valley. We also have an airbase in the valley. Our town is next to the airbase. Now, granted, it's about 10 miles away from ground zero if we actually had a hyper missile land in the middle of Edwards. Of course, we'd be feeling the shock waves. We'd be rattling like crazy. And if there was any nuclear capability in the damn thing, which I'm afraid of, if it happens, we'd be dealing with the fallout. The blast wave wouldn't hit us unless it was going to be hitting Roseman, my town out here. I would just hope that I'd be in the blast wave, in the first wave, not low and slow, just quick and simple, and just boom. I'll deal with that. So I wouldn't have to deal with the radiation or the fallout or trying to scramble for some kind of radiation shielding, which I don't have. Dying of cancer? No way. I'm not looking forward to that one. Just make it fast and quick. Won't feel the pain as much, probably intensely, but done and over and with, and I won't go through the lingering shit. It would scare me if we actually did have a nuclear attack in our area. We have two civilian communities surrounding an airbase. That scares me. Yes, boys and girls, we are turning into the professor mode again, of which I have neither academia lettering to corroborate this thing. However, if you will type out maps.google, or if you have Google Earth, type out the Antelope Valley, California. Now, mine is already set for my home. Street information. All I got to do is hit the layers, and I got satellite, which means I can look at the whole layout. With the mouse wheel, I can scroll up or scroll back enough where I can see the wedge. So, if you'll indulge me on this, in this wedge community, we have about 1 million people, roughly, scattered about in different communities. They're not all concentrated like they are below, but they are somewhat concentrated in different communities that we have surrounding the area, most of which are in Lancaster and Palmdale, some of which are in my town of Roseman, California, right next to Edwards Air Force Base. A small portion of it, maybe about 10,000 or less, in Mojave. About the same point, or maybe way less in Boron, and not to mention California City. And then there's Tehachapi, about 10 to 12, I think. 10 to 12,000 in that one. So yeah, roughly we're looking at about 1 million people, maybe more, scattered about in different communities in this wedge area. I am not trying to tell you how to blow the place up. I'm telling you how I think that I don't want the place to blow up. But in the eventuality that we actually get some lunatic going to be actually taking this damn shit, which is going to scare the living crap out of me. I'm going to ask you to move up the map a little up so you start to see the southern ridge on the slant going from northwest down to southeast on the screen. And scroll in a little bit between Lancaster and Palmdale area. You're going to see some agricultural farms. All these nice little round patches they got it there and square patches left and right. But then you're going to see an airport. This is visible on a map anywhere. And this is what scares me. Look where the dense population is below and above. The airport is right in the middle of the damn thing. Palmdale, in its city limits, go up until Avenue M. Beyond that, it is city of Lancaster. But this territory is all Los Angeles County. In the middle of this, in between these two towns, these two cities, you have, well, let's see, Quartz Hill's got about 15, 20 K in that area. It's not a town, it's just another community out there. And then you got Parabalsam down below. But that airport is what they called Plant 42. It's labeled as such. It's military testing the craft after they've gotten work on it. You have a few aerospace firms out there. At one time, they still wanted to make this into a commercial airspace for it. They wanted to get flights coming in, not just cargo, but actual passenger transports coming in. But apparently, the Association of Airports in the Southland decided not to. So any civilian air traffic coming in that's heavy. I'm not talking about small Lear jets, and I'm not talking about the private planes. I'm talking about heavy jets. 727, 747, no, 747, L1011s, commercial. They're going to the major chains in different airports, but not here. Hold on. Mom's calling. Mama, hold on. My dog and her bit of dementia. She worries me too much. And I love her a great deal. Anyway, that's why. At one time, we actually had research in the San Fernando Valley, but the research was moved to the Antelope Valley, where most of the major aerospace firms have their manufacturing. They've got manufacturing all over the world, not to mention the United States in different areas. We see a lot of testing and retesting of aircraft and their performance out here, from fighter jets to transports and material being moved in and out. But we also get cargo out here. We have distributing warehouses out here for a few companies that deal with the online. It's a hub. What scares the hell out of me, if you get closer in the tighter images of it, and you have the airport in your center view of Google Maps, kind of scroll it to going to the west, and that's to the left. Move your mouse and cursor, and you see the traffic. You see Lancaster. You go down below, you also see Palmdale, the communities, the hospitals close by, the freeway that goes through an area that's close by to another hospital. They are close. They are close. And it's scary as hell. We're seeing this. I'm seeing this on a constant basis here. I keep thinking about this from time to time. Since coming out here to the Antelope Valley, nearly 20 years ago, give or take a few years, I really didn't consider this much. It started to dawn on me more and more about the earthquake situation. I'm more worried about the damn San Andreas fault line that I could see, and the Gorlick fault line also that I could see, because it's the wedge. The mountain ranges give it away. And then I kept thinking about Edwards Air Force Base. They have an active runway system, but they also have it spread out. And they don't have that much collateral damage surrounding the area. But the one road that goes in and out to the airbase, well, that's the road I'm living on. Day by day, and every single day, I get traffic coming in and out like crazy. And sometimes it gets jammed up. We got one major road going in and out of town. Sierra Highway, but we also have the freeway, north and south, and Sierra is north and south. Rosemont is east and west. We have other side streets that'll travel to a distance, but not much. Not all the way through. And if they do, well, we'd be lucky enough for that one, wouldn't we? But it still scares the hell out of me of what the hell we're putting ourselves through. It still scares me. And it should. It should. It makes me more aware of what we may or may not have happening here, and how we're going to be able to deal with a hell of a lot of crap kicking our ass. They say, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. Well, guess what? We have a lot of people who living in different communities know that there's different geologic formations made and man-made in certain areas that people actually use for potential fallout shelter if anything else happens. But in my situation, all I'm wondering is whether or not we're going to actually get something hitting us to where everything else goes hell in a handbasket. Yeah, I'm afraid. And damn it, I have a right to be afraid. I know they say don't live in fear, but the problem is I do live in fear, because what we're dealing with right now, it's scary enough as it is. Hyper missiles. One or two, Mach 1 or 2 is fast enough. 3 to nearly 5 or 6, unbelievable. If Russia actually has demonstrated that technology, if Russia actually has that technology, who would they sell it to? Who would Putin sell it to? And for how much? How much is he willing to get from those countries that he needs to continue his Ukraine situation? Situation my ass. Massacre, genocide. Throw a word in that one. But now if we have the technology out there for the hyper missile, I might as well call it a hyper missile. If it goes like an ICBM from traveling thousands of miles away to hit the shoreline here, I think the terror aspect of it would have been hitting the desert region. I mean, yeah, I could think about hitting San Fernando Valley. That'd scare people. Or hitting the Inland Empire. That would scare people. San Diego, that'd definitely be terrifying people. That's right. But if the damn thing was filled with enough explosive, and if it actually hit a fault line system, would there have been an energy transfer, any kinetic energy transfer to the fault? And would that be rippling across the fault line? If that actually caused or may create, I could use long ass words on these damn things. Shakers. Yeah, that scares the hell out of me, wouldn't it? You know, when I heard about this one, I'm thinking, it can't be right, can't be right, can't be right, can't be right. But if it was proven, and getting back to the satellite situation, back in the Cold War, we worried about whether or not we were actually going to have nuclear missiles coming down our ass, raining down from the sky. We had all these damn useless drills in school. They tried to modify them for earthquakes, but in reality, it was supposed to be for a nuclear attack. In a nuclear attack, as a kid, I was supposed to do duck and cover somewhere. If we actually did have hypotheticals, okay? Let's just say hypothetically, back in the 70s, we still had the Cold War. And if the Kremlin actually developed an ICBM that was definitely going to be hitting the West Coast, how the hell would we be able to have the time to respond to this damn crack? If we happen to see the flash, it depends on where the flash is going to be and how close. So, this to give me nightmares and shivers tonight, and this is not October for it. If we actually did have a missile land, let's say, I'll probably scare the living crap out of my valley anyway, but during those days I was living in the San Fernando Valley. I had more to fear concerning about earthquakes and gang members than I had about a nuclear attack, but if the damn thing actually hit, hitting in the mountains above, that wouldn't diffuse the blast wave, it would extend the damn thing into the valley and also in Southern California. LA, Orange County, San Gabriel's, tightly compacted communities. It's one thing if I'm going to be worrying about a natural disaster like maybe a tidal wave hitting through the area. I mean, that would scare the hell out of people. It would scare the hell out of me, one way or another. But a nuclear blast, let me explain something about this one here. Hollywood did a movie called The Day After. This was back in the 80s. We were watching this damn thing, and it gave me nightmares. It's one thing seeing maybe film about it or something on cable about it didn't affect me as much. They put it into a dramatical format that did scare the hell out of me. That I actually had nightmares after that. So yeah, looking up in the San Fernando Valley, if there was going to be anything of a unnatural disaster, would scare the shit out of me. It was bad enough being scared about natural disasters like fires all around the damn place. They always scared me. I kept thinking I had miles and miles and rows of houses before it'd get to me. I should be safe. No, I wasn't. I was still feeling sick to my stomach during those days. Now it's going to be even more increased because I'm more and more realizing that things closer to it gets closer to home. Now I really got legitimate concerns to be having nightmares and everything else going on. It's not that I'm going to be screaming and yelling that there was a shutdown operations. No, we're still a target out here. Somewhere in the Antelope Valley, we have an air traffic control system besides Edwards Air Force Base. And they are trying to keep track of things. We have a constant air traffic control system going on throughout the Southland, meaning extending from Kern County all the way down to San Diego. We're keeping track of traffic. We got another traffic radar out there that keeps track of Central California and Northern California. I mean, they got these ranges going on that we're constantly seeing moving aircraft through the atmosphere. But a missile faster than anything? There's not enough time for me to try to lean over and kiss my ass goodbye, or just lean over and say, bye, bud. That's the thing I'm going to have nightmares over. Something totally uncontrolled and something that is going to be totally deadly. It's bad enough I'm going to be thinking about nuclear satellites upstairs, not powering spacecraft to use maneuvering and travel into deep space for exploration. No, now we got to have nuclear power out in space to cause a nuclear war on Earth. And do we have missile technology that can travel up through the atmosphere to get those satellites and knock them out of there? The political ramifications are going to be staggering at this point over here. If they're not been staggering over the past, well, since 1950s, so currently. When did they launch Sputnik? In mid to late 50s? So that changes everything we've got. We had been testing ever since we'd got into the rocket age. Missile technology. I now put a nuclear warhead or an atomic warhead on the damn thing and watch the damn thing blow. So yeah, getting on a tangent like this is like a tidal wave of it. Things that are totally, absolutely, powerless over. I'm totally terrified of this damn crap. And by the time this video is going to be posted, the White House may be still in deep conference over this damn thing, both on the hyper cruise missile, if it actually exists in Russia, and then also nuclear satellites. Since we've already got AI technology being developed and we got chatbots doing that, we already got machines making decisions for themselves. Are we going to be running into a Skynet situation? Are we going into the Matrix now? Some cyberpunk te- uh, landscape? A long time ago as a kid, I didn't even think about thoughts like this. Now, I'm older and I wish to God I was just not thinking about shit like this. Because I'm seeing the future coming alive more and more. So yeah, it's a terrifying aspect, isn't it? Yeah, I don't think I'm going to have any safe dreams tonight. I think I'm just going to have nightmares.